You for the break. Thanks, Marilyn. Turning the cam on. Beautiful. Okay, now we fall into the events of the first half of the Great Tribulation, smack in the middle of your page 13, Roman numeral 8. We take that chunk. We won't finish it, but you will enjoy that. So I would like to deal with that right now, with this here on the board. Here, basically, it's Revelation chapter 6 to 18. I forgot to to write that down. Revelation 6 to 18. It goes like this: 6 to 18. Okay, right here, 6 to 18. Revelation chapter 6 to 18. It is subdivided this way, based upon what you have on the TV screen right now. The first half of the Great Tribulation here. That's what we take right now. Just to give you an outline of it, chapters mainly chapters 6, 7, 8, 9, and chapter 17 deals with the first half, what you have there. In chapters 10 to 14, it's going to deal with this, mid-event. And in chapters 15 and 16 and 18, it's going to be the second half, the seven bowl. Okay? The seven bowl judgment are in the middle. We'll come back to that next week. You have the mid-trim. Now you work back on the left, and then we go to that slide here right there, the events in the middle and the events of the first half. So I repeat simply, chapters 6 to 9 and 17 deals with the first half. Chapters 10 to 14 will deal with the midpoint of the Great Tribulation. It means the midpoint of the 7 years, Derek. You okay with this? You understand that? It's easy. Now we get into the very easiest part of Revelation. There is absolutely nothing complicated. And in the chapters 15 to 16 and 18, you have the second half. Forget about Shavuim. It was a statement of the simply seeking a place to write here. I am done with this. Now you go with me please in Revelation chapter 6. All of you. Revelation chapter 6, you might say in your heart, finally he's getting in Revelation. Yeah, I will one day. Revelation chapter 6. You see, it makes sense. We have seen chapter 5 last week. We saw it. It was the prelude type of thing, seen in heaven. Now we get into the Great Tribulation. Where are we? We are events of the first half. We deal with the seal judgment. Okay? So now we are here in the first half of the Great Tribulation. This, we can get rid of it. All these expression is for either halves that we have. And now we get into this. I want you to know it by heart. I want you to know it by heart, what I say right now. I'm missing one, but I'm going to give it you right now. In the Great Tribulation, during the 7 years, you have 3 sets of judgments. 3 sets of judgments. The first one are the seal judgments. The second set are the trumpet judgments. And the third set after the trumpet will be the bowl judgments. I would like you to memorize this. Seal, trumpet, and the bowl. This is a bowl judgment. Okay? And I poured a bowl here. Okay? So, seal, it's a letter that you break the seal. Boop, 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 trumpet, and bowl. They go from mild to heavy. Here it's going to be heavy. I'm missing one here because I simply did not put it on the board because I'm not going to reach that today. The 7 seal judgment that we're just about ready to embark, it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It goes like this. The seal number 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The seal number 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is about ready to read, you will see it's going to, oh, wow. okay, are the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Apocalypse is the French. In Revelation, when we read it in French, the title of Revelation, it's not Revelation, it's Apocalypse, the revealing of true and so on. When we will open the last seal, what it's in the letter, when we break the seal of the seal number 7, the seal number 7 will contain the 7 trumpet judgments. When we open the last seal, what does it contain, the last seal? It will contain the 7 trumpet judgments. That easy. Now we blow the trumpets. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last 3, 5, 6, and 7 will be the first, second, and third woes. When you blow that trump here, woe, 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 that's why it goes from bad to worse. What will be the content of the 7 woe? Please say it for me. Beautiful. Will be the bold judgments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is finished. If we get this, which is Sunday school.
No.
Sunday school. Pure, simple mathematics, grade 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the seal judgments are the 4 horsemen. I'm just going to read them right now. 5, 6, and 7 seal. When we break the 7 seals, what's the content of the 7th seal? The 7 trumps. 7 trumpet, mass, heavier than this. Number 4, and that's why. First woe, second woe, third woe, fasten your seat belt. And have a kidney belt also. Be therefore ride. Which ride? The 7th trumpet will give birth to these 7 bowl judgments unbearable for mankind. So the first series of judgment are the trumpet, secondly the seal, and lastly the bowls. True or false? Are you ready to break the seal number 1? Krista, you help me out. You have a chart. This is exactly what we study. Would you get there? Krista, nice and loud as you did, she breaks the first seal. We are in chapter 6, verses 1 and 2, dear Krista.
Now I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer.
Beautiful. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Oh, wow. It looks like the second return. So the he on the white horse has to be the Messiah? Absolutely not. The he on the white horse is the first horseman of the apocalypse. That needs to be understood in light of this. In light of what we call the false Trinity, which you know. Give me the Trinity proper, please. Give me the counterfeit by Satan. How come you know this again? You're not supposed to know that.
Yes, we are. You've been teaching us.
If you understand the concept, I will make myself like the Most High for Satan chapter 14. Not Satan chapter 14. Isaiah chapter 14. You understand what is his desire. He wants to imitate the counterfeit here. Okay? So the one, the he that sits there It's basically satanic here. The crown, it's Stephanos. Stephanos means the crown of a conqueror because he wants to conquer the world. Okay? Stephanos here, that's the first seal. He comes to conquer. I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him. The crown of Jesus is not a Stephanos. The crown of Jesus is a diadem. Crown was given to him, small h, and he went out conquering and to conquer. This is not God right now. This is the false trinity, if you want to put it that way. I'm giving you titles of him in the Old Testament now. It's not on the outlines and it's nowhere. You need to note them right now. Various names for the false trinity and the Antichrist. The first time that you see him is in Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. He is called the seed of Satan. Genesis chapter 3 verse 15, the enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. What is the culmination of the seed of the woman? It is Jesus the Messiah. What is the culmination of the seed of Satan? It is the Antichrist.
So the name is seed of
Satan. Daniel chapter 7 verse 8, the little horn. Daniel chapter 7 verse 8, the little horn. We have 6 of the Old Testament. Daniel chapter 8 verse 23. Daniel chapter 8 verse 23. It's the king of fierce countenance. The king of fierce countenance is Daniel chapter 8 verse 23. We have 4 so far. 1, 2, 3. 3 so far. Number 4. The prince that shall come. Where do we find this one? Daniel chapter 9 verse 26. The prince that will come. Daniel chapter 9 verse 26. Number 5. The desolator. The desolator. Daniel chapter 9 verse 27. The last of the Old Testament is in Daniel chapter 11 verse 36, the willful king. Willful, yeah, does as he wants. I have 5 to give you in the New Testament now, and we move on. 5 to give you in the Old Testament, in the New rather. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3, the man of sin. The man of sin. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3 again. The son of perdition. Second Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3. This is the second of the New Testament. The son of perdition. Number 3, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8. The lawless one. Lowercase o. The lawless one. 1 John chapter 2 verse 22. 1 John chapter 2 verse 22. The Antichrist. Revelation chapter 11 verse 7. This is the 5th and last, the beast. I carry on with details here concerning verses 1 and 2. Let me say a few words as far as to his origin. The Antichrist will not be a Jew. Lots of teachers says that. Lots of teachers say they say that the Jews will accept him as the Messiah. It has no warrant. It's nowhere to be found in the text. They will not accept the Antichrist as the Messiah. And those who use that teaching, they base that teaching on Daniel chapter 11, verse 37. And they use only the King James Version. Daniel chapter 11, verse 37 reads as follows. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers or for the desire of woman. They use the King James because the King James has the God, capital G. So they will say that they will hold him the Messiah. It's an error by King James. It's a mistake in the King James Version here.
Francois, if the Antichrist was a Jew, would he walk or trample around in the court that's set aside for the Gentiles?
He cannot be a Jew. The first reason is because of the times of the Gentiles. And basically that's trodden down by the Gentiles. So that's why the third temple is not a legitimate temple at all. Okay, yes, he will more than trample down. He will sit in the Holy of Holies, committing the abomination of desolation. Okay, so that's my next statement. Again, he is a Gentile.
What is the reference for where it's in the King James?
11:37 of the book of Daniel. The Antichrist will be a Gentile. We see that also in typology. Because Antiochus Epiphanes is a type of the Antichrist and he was a Gentile. Antiochus Epiphanes in the book of Daniel is a type of the Antichrist, and Antiochus Epiphanes is a Gentile. Without losing your place in Revelation chapter 6, I'm going to read for you the Revelation chapter 13 for a quick moment. Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 to 10. I don't think I will read the whole thing, but I will read what I need right now. And the dragon stood, chapter 13, verse 1, on the sand of the seashore. Then I saw a beast coming up out of the sea. And the sea is always a picture of the Gentile world. Okay? That's all I wanted. And also with this beast coming out of the sea, which is from the Gentile world. And we know also, and that's why I speak about this emphatically sometimes, that the Antichrist is the last ruler of the Gentiles. That's it. So we cannot be a Jew. He is the last ruler of the times of the Gentiles. And they will not accept him as the Messiah. The Antichrist will be of Roman origin. He will be a Roman origin. We know that from Daniel chapter 9 that we just read, verses 26 to 27. I'm going to read it for you again. He will be of Gentile origin. We know that from Daniel chapter 9, verses 26 to 27. When you go there, it reads that way. Then after the 62 weeks, the Messiah will be cut off and have nothing. And the people of the prince that is to come will destroy the city and the sanctuary. That's all I want. The people of the prince that is to come. Okay? Who destroyed the city in AD 70? What type of people were they?
Roman.
The Roman. Verse 27. And he will make a covenant with the many. So the he will make here, the closest antecedent of he will make, that's the Antichrist. It's a grammatical issue. What's the narrowest or the closest antecedent? It's the prince that is to come. The people of the prince that is to come. Of verse 27. Who destroyed the city in AD 70? Titus and Vespasian. So the prince will be of the same kind of people of those that destroyed the city. He will be of Roman origin. He will also have a supernatural origin. Remember this. I would like to complete my statement because I don't want to diminish. Holy Spirit, I'll be happy with this. Okay? Remember this. The first messianic prophecy that you have in the Bible is Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. It reads as follows. Genesis chapter 3, verse 15 reads like this. And I will put enmity, is talking right now to the woman, between you and the, he's talking to the serpent, sorry, between you and the woman, between your seed. The first seed here is Satan's seed and her seed, because he's speaking to Satan in 15. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed, Satan singular, and her seed. He will bruise you on the head and so on. I just wanted the seed context here. The seed of the woman, with time and time and time, culminates in the coming of the Messiah, born of the Virgin. And it narrows down. So the seed of the woman, it's kind of interesting that the Messiah is reckoned after her. In the Old Testament, it's always the lineage to the Father. But since there was no sperm involved in the birth of Christ, he is reckoned after the lineage of Mary. So there will be a miraculous conception leading to the Isaiah of last week here, leading to the birth of the seed of the woman, which will culminate in the seed of the Messiah. In the same token, the Antichrist will imitate the counterfeit Trinity, will imitate the real Trinity. So the Antichrist will be a human, but he will have a supernatural origin. But the supernatural here will be the power of the occult. On this one, come with me in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. Remember, Paul has things to say about it. That's why we do in our local church right now. And when I come to this, I'm always a little bit kind of emotional. I will explain to you why. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. It talks about his origin. Okay? Let's start in 7, since the time is on our side. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do until he is taken out of the way. We discussed that's not what I want right now. That the lawless one, circle lawless one, it's a name for the Antichrist, will be revealed, whom the Lord will slay with the breath of his mouth and bring to an end by the appearance of his coming at the end of the Great Tribulation. That is, the one who is coming is in accord with the activity, circle the word activity of Satan, with all powers and signs and false wonders. What I want is the word activity, and in the Greek it's the word energeo, from which we have the word to energize. So Satan will impregnate a lady, and she will give birth to the Antichrist. Because he wants... What does he say in Isaiah chapter 14? I will make myself like the Most High. Satan knew the plan of redemption from the beginning, and that's what he has been trying to wreck. Okay? We see that over the course of times with the abuse of the female sex, the abuse of young children, female, the abuse of teenager, and the abuse of women in general. Because Satan hates motherhood. He hates femalehood. Because salvation came through the seed of the lady. So all the abuse that you see of the children in here at Warmland Center, the ladies that are street, abused sexually, drugs, beaten in the street, it's all plan of satanic because he doesn't like womanhood. When we go to Daniel chapter 8, you see, we spend more time on this seal. Some will be way shorter than this. Because now I need to talk about Satan, and he doesn't like it, so please pray for me. Chapter 8, verses 23 to 25. It talks about the power of the occult. Daniel chapter 8, 23 to 25. In the latter period of their rule, prophetic future, when the transgressors have run their course, a king will arise, insolent and skilled in intrigue. That's the power of the occult. The king that will arise here, it's the Antichrist. His power will be mighty. Mighty enough to express and to do what I just explained to you. Because Satan has a lot of power. Stop being childish with this. We don't have the power to bind Satan. It is non-existent. He is a powerful being that needs to be ignored but respected in a sense of his power. He will destroy to an extraordinary degree and prosper and perform his will. He will destroy mighty men and the holy people. And through his shrewdness, he will cause deceit to succeed by his influence. And he will magnify himself in his heart, and he will destroy many while they are at ease. He will even oppose the princes of princes, which is Christ, and he will be broken without human agency. Okay? Meaning it's not men that will destroy him. Daniel chapter 11, 36 and 39. Daniel chapter 11, 36 to 39. Then the king will do as he pleases. It is the Antichrist here. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god and will speak monstrous things against the God of gods. And he will prosper until indignation is finished, for that which is decreed will be done. He will show no regard for the gods of his father or the desire of women, nor will he show regard for any other god. He will have no attraction for the tenderness of a woman. He is not attracted by this. He likes to destroy them. And I give you why. The enmity of 3:15, and there will be enmity between your seed and her seed. The enmity has been there until now, and it will be until the end of the Great Tribulation. That's why in 7 seals there will be rapes in great number. You will do the minor prophets. You will be ladies being raped. It's all his plan here. That's why men in the room, we are asked to love our wives in a godly way. Wives, we need to be in subjection to your husband in a godly way. The men are asked to protect you properly, to the point of laying down their lives for you. Understand, don't be offended by what I say at all. Ladies have sustained a really peculiar relationship with the enemy. That's why we need to be in the scriptures, and you are. Understanding this will help you to embellish your inside and understand the relationship thereof. He will have no regard. He doesn't have any regard. Hates it. Why? Simple as this. Because the plan of redemption comes through the seed of the woman.
I guess abortion would be in there too. To get rid of, let's get rid of the seed and.
Absolutely. You nailed it. You nailed it. Let me. You just abortion. What's the best abortion that you have in the book of Genesis? Why the flood? To wipe off the Nephilim. I'm on a tangent right now. Why the flood? To wipe off the Nephilim. What happened with the Nephilim? The Nephilim was a fallen race, fallen angels. And they took upon themselves humanity. The giants, the titans type of thing. What have they done on the earth? They intermarried with women. They intermarried with women so that the seed was distorted, because Satan knew that it was produced, the salvation would come through the seed of the woman. So he sent a bunch of women and married them, have sex with them, and they produced what we call the grotesque race. What was the purpose? Because he knew Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. God said, Noah, you will float. It's not a boat. It's a box meant to float. It's not a ship. Point like this. It's a table of wood like this. Save Noah, send the flood to wipe up that human race that intermarried and spare and start. So the seed of the woman was saved through water, through Noah.
Oh, yes.
Talk about the abortion. It was something more satanic. And they took for themselves, it says in the text, they took from themselves, because it's never a woman that takes a man in the Old Testament. It's always the man that takes a woman. So angels always appear as mankind, young men of 35, 40, 45 years of age, and they had sex with demons, wrecking the system. I'm going to go further than that. Avimelech. He saw Abraham and who's the wife of Abraham? Sarah. Sarah was good looking. Abimelech through the window, he said, bring me that lady, Sarah. So he brought Sarah to his harem, Avimelech, and a voice came to Avimelech in the night. Send that lady back to her husband. Lord, I did not know that she had a husband. And in the integrity of my heart, I have done these things. God said, I know that the integrity of your heart, you have done these things. Send this woman to her husband. Because if Avimelech have sex with Sarah, the seed is distorted.
Yes.
It's nothing new. In Revelation, there is nothing new. Send her back to the husband. Because Abraham will produce a son. Otherwise, if she goes with Avimelech, there will be no Isaac potentially. And that's a beautiful to destroy the line, the godly line. Send her back because she's going to have sex with her husband, and there will be Isaac in their old age. And then the seed is protected. When do we do Genesis? In 2032? I'm committed. I'm committed.
Once we finish Isaiah.
Let's break seal number 2 next week. My throat is bothering me a bit. We break the seal number 2 next week. So you have 7 days. I did not know that there were 7 days between the breaking of the seals of these things. It's a new piece of information for me. Anybody spirit-led? Now, before the Spirit comes upon you right now, let me. Your support is important to us. The fiscal year is over. You know that TSM is a registered entity that issue tax receipt and so on. So I would like to encourage you based upon the way you're blessed here, if you are blessed, and I think you are, to respond properly. It's between you and the Lord. We will be giving tax receipt at the end of January or February in time to do your income tax and so on. Thank you for your support for the ministry in a generous way. I don't make eye contact when I see that because the people know themselves and so on. Thank you and God bless you. Pray for me. Teaching Satan is not a really happy camper with me, disclosing all these things with me. So I would like a person in the room led by the Spirit to close with a word of prayer, please.